Good evening, everyone. We are back, of course, on this pretty average Wednesday night. We've got round 3 for you then tonight, and it's Bahrain this time, so not too far away from the last circuit. Last time I left you, my geography wasn't the best, but I can now tell you that Bahrain is just east of Abu Dhabi, a few hundred miles. So we've moved the drivers just up the Gulf of Persia, and we're now in a nice little island-style country on this international circuit here as the first few drivers make their way onto the track. So, as always, I will get this stuff going, and we'll talk you through the qualifying session. Usual format, a lot of drivers leaving there, good to see everyone getting out. So yep, usual format, short qualifying followed by a 50% race, which I believe is 29 laps around here. How can I minimize this? Is that a thing? No, okay. Well, I wish it wasn't so fat, that menu, but so it is. So then, the first lap looks like it's going to be an AlphaTauri. Is it Lewis? No, it is Ross. So, we'll ride on board with Ross, and I'll talk you guys through his first flying lap. This week, I'm going to run, I think, unless I change my mind, I'm going to run the telemetry at the bottom there. I've noticed a few of the other guys who host these streams do that, although I try to minimise what's on the screen, so fingers crossed, you know, it's not getting in the way. Anyway, here we go then for the first lap. Let's see what times can be posted. I'm a little bit unprepared tonight. I couldn't tell you what last time's qualifying is. Needless, doesn't really make a difference. These guys should be better. So all I can know is let's hope for an improvement. He's got through turn 1s and turn 2, okay. And now he's going to head down the first DRS zone, well, the second DRS zone if you want to count it. Down into turn 4. Looking good so far. Taking a little bit on the left and maybe mounting the curb on the right. Yes, he does. 6th gear flat out all the way down into the braking zone of turn 8. Heavy one this, difficult traction zone. Might want a short shift. Now he chooses to plant it all the way through 2nd gear. One of the hardest braking zones on the calendar, especially for anyone not using ABS. Very, very easy to lock up the inside left. And now he opens DRS for the 3rd time on the lap. Heading down towards turn 11, 50 metre board, turning in, using the apex on the left and letting the car drift out to the right hand side before taking it flat. Interesting to see how different drivers take the line through here. If you mount that curb on the right, it's going to spin the car. That's been a feature of these games, and probably in real life for quite some time now. Just one braking zone to go. Let's fingers crossed he gets it right. 2nd gear all the way down there. I wouldn't usually go that low, but he's got it through regardless. Opens the DRS. And he crosses the line for a 1:29.1. So, you would imagine we'll get into the 28th then. Let's see, as an Aston Martin looks to be heading across the line. Let's see what he posts. Is that enough to go pole position? Yeast? No, it's not. He's half a tenth. And now let's watch as these times roll across the board. Lewis takes pole position immediately into the 1:28 with a 9:11. Sprunky and Chimachangas across the line, as well as Rabastian, but those laps aren't going to be troubling the front row of the grid. Let's find the Haas who is crossing the line. Callas, is he a new driver? I think he might be. Post a 1:29.2, so 3/10 off of pole position. Here comes an Alpine. Nothing given there. Atlas and Ferg there takes it by a 1/10.5. Great lap by Ferg. We've got Eek, I think, coming across the line. Yes, we do. He will hope to get into the top 5, if not more. Let's see where he can put it. Oh, never mind. Eek is starting his first lap. That was naive by me to assume that he'd already done his out lap. Might have made a mistake, or maybe he was just late starting the session. Let's ride on board with him then and see where he can post it. We've got 2 cars in the pit lane, the McLaren of Law, I would imagine, is making his way out onto the track. And we have a Mercedes, probably Shaq again, a car yet to post the time still in the pit lane. Good short shift there, not too confident to get it flat as early as Lewis did in that first lap. He gets his foot to the floor down towards turn 10. Third gear, good use of gears here by Eek. That time of a 1:28.749 to beat. Just over a second, in fact exactly a second, separating the top 12 drivers, which is always good to see as most drivers make their way back into the pit lane. He's going to get a slipstream here by his teammate. He's going to duck out the way, I would imagine. I would really hope. Yes, he does. He gives him an optimal drag there, optimal tow. That'll have gained him a 10th, I would imagine. Good teamwork by Gio to help him along there, and it could, well, put him on pole. No, the second row of the grid, 28.9, P3 for the moment. Let's ride on with Shaq then, who's about to start. No, Shaq is still in the pit lane. It must be the other Mercedes who's going. Oh, he's just finished his run. Okay then, so we've got no cars by the looks of it, unless this is Law coming around. Yes, it is. Law's about to start his lap, so my teammate in the all tiers constructors about to start his lap. Let's get eyes on then. Be interesting to see who is running the lowest downforce, the lowest rear wing, while I try and get all of your guys' stuff up on the stream. Bear with me. Ah, okay, so Shaq has told me he's got a quali ban, presumably after his DC last weekend on the Reconnect. Evening to you too, Colin. Good to see you in chat. Looking forward to racing tomorrow, even though I don't like this circuit at all. And after the inverted commas practice that we had on Monday, God knows how that's going to turn out. So running you through the sector times then, we've got the Alpine in pole position of Ferg, who is set fastest sector 2, Eek fastest sector 3, and Atlas fastest sector 1. So unlike last week, no one is yet dominating the sectors. I believe it was Yeast in pole position last week who set 3 fastest sectors. So that was an excellent qualifying session by him last time out in Abu Dhabi. Let's see what Law can post then. See how high he's going to jump up the grid. He crosses the line and he goes pole position by over a 10th and a half. It's a 1:28.6. Great lap by Law, and great to see the McLaren on provisional pole then with just under 10 minutes to go. So yeah, Shaq has that quali ban, so he will be starting last. He's obviously had the pace to have some good results in the last 2 races, so it'll be interesting to watch his climb through the grid. Let's hope he posts a good position during the race. Obviously the more cars you have to overtake, the more risk of incidents there are, so fingers crossed you can keep it out of trouble. Who have we got coming around then? We've got a Red Bull who's just crossed the line. Is it Rodo? Nope, he's in the pits. Robastian then was on his way around. Not his best time, a 29.7, so he'll be looking to gain, I'd imagine, at least 4 tenths to put himself comfortably around the top 10. The numbers are racking up in the stream, good to see. Even before the race has begun, we've got 7 people in the chat. So in logging that fastest time from Law, he's posted the fastest first sector. a 28.4, which looks to be a good 2/10 clear of any other driver. Someone's just set the fastest sector 2 there. And let's see where he puts it then. Sebastian, can he make it into the top 10? Has he improved by maybe half a second, or is it less than that? He goes pole position. What a lap to follow then. Again, it's under a tenth. And that's a 1:28.538 for Sebastian. Great lap by the Red Bull. And that knocks Lowe down to P2, still on the front grid. Sorry, in the front row. It's a Red Bull who provisionally leads. And I would imagine most of these drivers will get a chance for 2. And Ferg has gone back to the top of the timing sheets by a whopping 2/10, over 2/10. The lap times are coming down. Surely no one to get the 1:27s. That would be an amazing lap if anyone can pull that off. It would have to be an almighty lap by, for example, Lowe, who's only just posted one time. If he can get over half a second, that might well get him into the 1:27s. That would be a miraculous time. Let's see then. We have an Alpha Tauri about to cross the line. No, he's coming into the pits. What about this Alfa Romeo? Is it Sprunky or is it Chimichanga? Oh no, and he's dropped it. Just as he's about to start his lap then. That's a real shame. Is he going to go for another one, or is he going to bring it into the pits? He's not going to cross the track because there's the Haas passing him. And now the Mercedes will drive by. And what's his decision going to be? He's going to stay out. He's going to stay out. He's going to, well, the battery doesn't need recharging, but he's going to have to take care of those tyres. Get them around for another lap. That will compromise the end of his qualifying session. I would imagine this will be the only time he gets to post, as most of the cars make their way in. It looks like a Williams is about to finish their lap. Where is he? That's an Alpine, is it? Or is it a Williams? Oh no, it's just Ferg pitting. Yeah, okay, thought so. And Rodo. Is he on a lap? Or is he... It looks like he's on a lap. But he's got 40% ERS. So I'm not sure if he's going to actually be able to complete the lap with good pace. But let's ride on board until he gives up. He's only going to get to turn 11 before his ERS runs out, so if not earlier. He might have left the pit lane with it on hot lap instead of turning it off, so that could be something he hasn't yet noticed. Really struggling now into the last few percent of his ERS. So we've got Ferg and Sebastian followed by the 2 Aston Martins. Atlas has improved, which is good to see. The 2 Aston Martins on the second row of the grid. Poor guy, turn 11 and he's run out of ERS. He's going to notice that down this final straight, I can tell you that for sure. He'll notice this back. That's the connection for you. He's going to see his delta time just plummet. He might have just been alright there, you know, it was on just a few percent left. But again, yeah, he's coming in. That's unfortunate, because that is wasted time. I think he'll get round for one more lap. But he's wasted a lot of time there. And again, another guy on 0 ERS. I would imagine Atlas has just posted his new time, so he'll be boxing now. Lowe then is finishing a lap. Let's see if he can put it on pole. He hasn't improved in the first sector, but he bumps it up to P2, which is a good result. A 10th clear of P3, but still a 10th behind pole position. If he gets it round in good time, he'll get a chance to go again. Or either of these Alphas, or... Sorry, yes, either of the Alphas, either the Tauri or the Romeo on a lap. Yes, Lewis, who set provisional pole position after the first set of laps, is now finds himself in P9, 6/10 clear. Well, sorry, 6/10 behind pole position. and Sprunky moves up from somewhere at the bottom up to P12. Caught that, thankfully. Interestingly, Eek in P11 holds the fastest time in Sector 3. Oh, and that's not what you want to see. That's a 5-place grid penalty then for James, and Lewis is fuming because he's just stopped, as he would be, unfortunately. So James has had a spin, I guess, and he's just caught him. So provisionally, James finds himself in potentially P last, I'm not going to lie. It'll be him in front of Shaq. Unless he can get himself round for one more lap and improve on that. But potentially not. The McLaren comes out and Law is pitting. The Alfa Romeo of Sprunky is also on a lap, and Chimichang is about to pit, I believe. Nope, Chimichang is on a lap. Let's ride on board with him as he sets off on what will be his final lap. Ferg's time still to be beaten. Now, is this him crossing the line, or is that somebody else? I think that is somebody else. I want to be sure, I don't want to miss his... No, he's on an outlap, so we'll catch him before the end. Lucis, where's he going to post? He keeps it clean coming out of the final corner. And Lucis moves up to P9. Good gains there. And Sky's had an incident. Where is that? They're out of the race. Sorry, out of qualifying. And Sprunky is also out of qualifying. Whether that's time related or incident related, I'm looking at the map. I don't see anyone having a spill. That might just be because they don't have time to get back around the circuit. We've got an Alpha about to cross the line. It's Ross. He's on a hot lap. I'm keeping my eyes on those two Ferraris that are about to cross the line. Eek moves up to P2 then, and he sets the fastest Sector 2 and Sector 3. Only half a tenth off the leader. And Gio may or may not have improved. I couldn't tell you, but it's not quite as much of it as it's not quite as good of an improvement as his teammate has managed. That time yet to be beaten by Ferg. I want to catch his lap, and I think he's on it. So let's ride on board. There's a Merc off the track. Robin. He's either waiting for the Red Bull to pass, or he's had it. Yes, he's just waiting for the Red Bull to pass. And now there's... Oh, yes, okay, that's fine. So it'll be interesting to see if Ferg just comes in, if the time isn't better than his previous. But right now he's holding on to provisional pole, unless the McLaren has anything to say about it of law. Will he improve then? It's a 3-2-4. He registers a 1-5-8, 2 tenths up. That will be hard to beat. Let's find, is it Law? Is it in the pits? So Law's not going to improve. Atlas is coming around then in the McLaren. Ferrari warming his tyres on the outside of the track. Now if he can get half a second here, it'll be good enough for pole position. I'd be surprised if he did, but I'd love it if he did. The McLaren, okay, he doesn't improve. I think there was something on the screen there that put him off. And there's a Red Bull going slowly. I think most of these times are going to be set in stone. We've got one more driver coming round. Yep, everyone's boxing. It looks like that pole time is going to stand unless the Aston Martin has anything to say about it. Low ERS as he comes across the line. No improvement there. So that's... I don't want to write anyone off too soon, but I think that's going to be it. Rodo's going to run out of ERS by the time he gets to the final corner, so he is unlikely to improve. And that may well be Lucis or James in behind him. Doesn't look like he's going to improve at all. Doesn't even look like he's going for the line. So that's it then. Unless this is going to cross the line. No. that is it then. So, Ferg, his first pole position of the season. Very good job to him. A gap of 0.2 of a second to EQ, putting a great lap. Sector times for you then. Law with the fastest sector 1. Ferg, fastest sector 2. And Eek with the fastest sector 3. And with that time penalty, I would imagine, who was it? James and Shaq will be on the back row of the grid. Let's see if we can get those final results. I'm not sure if that's... No, so, okay. So Shaq is not going to start last. He will start ahead of James, who picked up the 5 grid placed penalty for an incident down at turn 9 or 10. Turn 10. Which I didn't catch, but he was facing the wrong way, so I can only imagine he's trying to hit the apex there and spun around. Shame he couldn't get out of the way, though, because he did kind of ruin the lap of the whoever it was on. I don't want to name someone. I think it may have been an AlphaTauri. Probably wrong. So good looks from the boys in the chat. And we're about to get underway with the formation lap. So as always, I'm going to catch a break and have a swig of me beer. And I'll be back to you in a bit. So interestingly, it was my birthday at the weekend gone, and my mate bought me some Jeremy Clarkson Special Hawks and Lager. First time I've ever had any. It's quite nice, you know. I wouldn't say it's the nicest cider I've ever had in my life, but considering where it's come from, 10 out of 10 would drink again. Lovely. Just before we get underway with our racing, let's get this stuff set up. We'll have some lap data, why not? We want position change, we want interval broadcast, full track map, and I'm going to run the telemetry off because I just feel like I want minimal stuff on the radar. So then, a quick rundown of the grid before we start. Ferg on his first pole position. I hope the nerves aren't running too high for him. Eek finds himself in a great position on the inside of the front row. Law and Atlas, my teammates, find themselves in position 3 and 5 with Sebastian, the Red Bull, in between them. The Hats of Callas, good result from him, considering he joined us fairly recently. P6 is a good result for qualifying. Robin, Gio, Ross, DMAC, Lucist, and then Lewis, Yeast, Sprunky, Rodo, Chimachangas, Sky, and Shaq and James. Tyres then, before we go, let's just see what we've got. Most medium runners with a hard runner there. That could be a good decision for Callas, depending on when the safety car comes out. If the safety car comes out, but let's be honest, it's less of an if and more of a when. 3 soft tyre runners who will look to get a good start off the line. Oh, sorry, I've got the hiccups. Good start off the line from the AlphaTauris, Ross and Lewis, and DMAC as well. So it'll be interesting. DMAC won't get the boost that he would have hoped because of the guy starting in front of him is also on the softs. So our pole sitter Ferg has made his way around the final corner, and he looks to back the pack up to not have to sit on the grid for too long. Doesn't want those tyres to cool down all too much. He nearly dropped it there. A few burnouts as he heads down towards pole position. Let's see who botches the start then. Are we going to have any people in good positions who drop the ball? Ferg's lined it up nicely, as has Eek. Most people half the grid are on and in good positions. The final few drivers then. Come on guys, don't ruin it. Don't ruin it. Ah, there's always one. There's always one. Well, poor Chimachangas. But here we go then. Hopefully I get a view of the lights that isn't just this. It looks like I am, so we'll have to just do what we can. It's 5 lights then, and we're underway. Ferg gets a good start. The McLaren's an excellent start. Look at that, 2 McLarens. There's nearly 5 wide going into turn 1. 4 wide at least. Away camera. Away camera. I think it's a McLaren in the lead. Yes, it is. What is this camera doing? What is the camera doing? McLaren's wide there, but he takes the lead and he keeps the position. And it's 3 there going into the back of Ferg. Great angle as they all fly by. That is one tight pack. We've got Haas off the road. We've got an inch, and that's a Red Bull. And Atlas and a Red Bull are out of the race, and we've got some tight racing there between Ferg, who's dropped down to P3. Robin in the Mercedes has got ahead, and D-Mac finds himself up from P10 to P4. Excellent racing from those two. It's a big shame for the Aston Martin to find himself with such a good start and out of this race. Sebastian, there's been an incident in the back between the Alfa Romeo of Sprunky and Lewis. Lewis has got away. Sprunky's stuck at the back. Is he going to get away? He's found his traction. There's a Haas, Callas, no, it's not Callas, it's D-Mac. Callas has dropped 9 positions. James, even though he got that penalty, is up 10 positions. What a start to the race. We've got drivers all over the place. But the biggest gainer then, Yeast up 9, James up 10. And Robin from P7 finds himself in first. Let me get myself back together, because that was one hell of a start. I just seen the McLaren and the Red Bull go off the road. Poor from Sebastian. I'm not sure whose fault it was. We'll see that, I'm sure, after the race from their perspectives. But Robin leads us across the line. As Ferg looks to make a move. No, he doesn't. He stays behind the McLaren. Who's going to get a good exit? We've got Ross in the pit lane. We've got 4 drivers in the pit lane. D-Mac moves up to P13. Ferg is not going to make that move. He's going to just hold what he's got. Difficult corner that. I've been struggling through turn 4, running out wide a lot, as Ferg does there. Yeast not far behind the action either, and then there's a slight break of about 2 seconds to the next pack of 6 or 7 drivers. VRS wise, Law has used barely anything, whereas Ferg has found himself having to use it. He's not going to use it down this street. He's going to hold what he's got, all while letting Robin in the Mercedes build up that gap. 2.3 seconds he's gained after just 1.5 laps. I was going to say, realistically, it's only 1 lap after the action of lap 1. There's a yellow flag. It's an AlphaTauri. It's Lewis. He's made a mistake. He's kept it on the road. Unfortunate for him and for Callas, who put up a really good effort, all things considered, at the start of the race. It's a good battle here at the back, to be quite honest. Let's see if he makes a move on those medium tyres up against the softs. We've got a pack of 3 I'm going to keep my eyes on. The lead 3. Oh, and there's a spin. Is that contact? And there's more contact there. Oh, unfortunate. The Haas and the 2... no, just the 1 AlphaTauri. He's not got damage by the looks of things. Let me check the TAS. I don't want to miss this move, though. Hard tyres versus medium. Up the inside goes Ross, but Callas keeps the position. And it's a tight move there. Law has picked up the position, but Ferg is going right back at him into turn 4. They've kept it tight, they've kept it together, and they come out in one piece as they head down towards the braking zone of turn 8. When I get a minute, I'll check the telemetry for any damage, but I don't really want to miss anything. That pack of 3 crossing the line now have stayed with each other, even though they all suffered a little bit of damage, I think, in that exchange. Let's check the damage real quick. Front wing, yes. So the Haas, unnamed Callas, has 25% front right damage, so severe damage to Callas. He'll be pitting at the end of this lap. And Atlas, who is out of the race, of course. He's the only other guy with damage, so it's just Callas, unfortunately, who's picked up damage from that incident. You can't really expect anything otherwise, because that was one hell of an impact. But Ferg has extended the gap. He must have used some ERS there to build up that kind of gap. 30% to Law's 60%, so yes, he's used nearly double the ERS to maintain position, but he's got himself out of DRS, so now's a good time to get those medium tyres going, get the life, as much life as you can, while maintaining the gap. He hasn't got DRS at this moment in time. James has moved into the top 10, which is a great effort, all things considered, from starting at the back of the pack. Finds himself in the top 10. Also a slight lock up there from Ferg, but he's kept it all together. All the drivers with a decent space, and Robastian's picked up a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Has he DNF'd? Has he retired the car? It looks so. Very unfortunate for him. A very decent qualifying, but he's only been able to complete the 4 laps then. Yeast. Oh, there's been a... Oh no, the race lead has made a mistake. And he's dropping... He can't... Oh, he's dropping so many positions. Bless him. He's... it looks as though... Has he clipped the inside curb that I talked about during qualifying? That inside curb of turn 12 is an absolute nightmare. I'm going to assume he's done that. He might have just run a little bit wide and lost it on the entry to 13. But Yeast has taken the lead from P14. No, 13. Yeast has taken the lead of the race in all that commotion. It looks really then that the guys who started toward the back of the grid have benefited. The mistakes have come from those at the front. And Yeast, who led last race, won last race in the end after that controversial move and subsequent disqualification by Shaq. Yeast finds himself up 12 places and leading the Grand Prix with 5 laps raced. Law in P2, Ika's down from his P2 start. Some great numbers there. The 10, the 12, the 10 and the 12. Great positions gained, but unfortunate for Ferg, his race lead was short-lived. So we've got a great pack of, let's say, 7 or 8 drivers, all on that back straight together. The gap opening up ever so slightly between each. Is he going to use ERS? No, he's not. He's got DRS though. Law is surely going to make a move going into the next turn down in turn 4. He's really closed that gap with the help of the drag reduction system. And he's got a decent exit, not quite as good as he's going to defend with overtake. He had it on there at the exit of the corner, and it's not going to be enough to get him into turn 4. He'll stay with him though. He's gone deep. That'll cost him on the exit. And now Yeast might want to use some overtake to get away. There's a Hast off down at turn 3. It's car... No, it's not. It's D-Mac. Possibly dropped it on the inside apex of turn 2. Very unfortunate to see. Let's find the race leaders again. It's an opportunity for Eek to take Law, which the tables have been turned. Unless he gets a poor exit, which he has, and Eek may just now gain on the leader. He's doing very well to hold him off without DRS. Sparks flying there in the face of Law as they head down through 11. Any mistake from any of these top 5 drivers will be costly. A lot of points on the line, and these top 3 drivers know that at this stage in the race they need to keep it on the road. Possibly later in the race when the gaps open up and the top few drivers, a mistake wouldn't be so costly. As we saw last week, the top 2 drivers were riding at least 12 seconds ahead, if not more, of P3. Looks to break the toe, but Law stays well within it. The McLaren looking to take the lead of the race. Why is he slowing down? What's going on? Oh, there's a safety car. There's a safety car, and it's a Mercedes of Shaq. I believe he's the one who's caused the safety car. Although he's kept it on the road. Yes, his tyres look like in all sorts of a state there. So the leaders missed the pit entry, but we've got a pack here that are going to box. No, one stays out, two stays out, and the Haas pits. Shaq has completely lost his front wing, so he'll also be coming in. And Ferg stays out. I would imagine he boxed earlier after the previous damage. Yeah, so Ferg has already stopped. And he's already on hard tyres. So, if these next 10 drivers choose to pit under the safety car, there's a Haas with an issue as well. He's got on the way again. Yeah, so if the top 10 drivers choose to pit, then it could be... Oh, you nearly lost it there, Ferg. Keep it together, mate. You could be in a good position here. Let's ride with... Well, not quite. I was going to say let's ride with the leaders and see what they choose to do. We've got an Alfa Romeo who we're about to see. What's done is he dropped it under the safety car. It looks like he has, but he's kept it going. He'll catch up with his delta time. Roto's overtaking. Oh, it was a VSC. It was a VSC. That is my mistake. So we're back underway then. No one's going to pit. Forget everything I just said in the last 2 minutes. That was a big oversight. And Ferg will have better temp. I'd be surprised if he made a move here, but he'll get the DRS going down the main straight. I wish the game said, you know, in the top left, it's a VSC. Oh, that's aggressive. And the connection is horrific between the pair of them. I'm not sure what's gone on there. But Sprunky has boxed with damage, presumably from his spin down at turn 10. Here is where he had the spin as the race lead makes its way through. Loads within DRS again, but it will not be open for another 2 laps after the VSC. Yeah, Sprunky did pick up a little bit of damage there, so he's going to pit. These tyres approaching 40%. Whereas Law is only just crossing 30%, so Law's tyre management has been a little bit better. ERS management is more or less equal. Let's see if he looks to make a move going into turn 1. The gap from 3rd to 4th. He may well make a move here. Is he going to go up the inside? No, he's going to hold it once again. Look to get a better exit coming out of turns 2 and 3 down towards 4. Callas has made 2 stops and he's on the verge of being lapped. We've got some support for Robin in the chat, another team member of his, who says he could make a decent recovery without any more mistakes, which is true. He had the pace and he found himself in the lead of the race, but he just needs to keep it on track, and having already made that stop, it's not out of the question. Yeast holds the position. Gaps starting to appear all around the circuit now. We've got a top 3 in the fight. We've got 4, 5 and 6 in a fight. Big gaps in sector 2 from Chimichanga down to Sky, and then a small battle for 11th to 14th. Just heading out of turn 4 now. Something's got to give with these tyres. Law has significantly better. He's not going to dummy the pit stop. He's going to try and break the toe, but again, Law's just going to follow him over to the right hand side of the track. He moves once, he can't move again. Law is again not going to make the move. And for as long as this goes on, all that they're doing is letting Eek slowly come up behind. This could be an opportunity. He's got a great exit. He has DRS. He's using the overtake. He's going to go in for it in turn 4. Down the inside, he chooses to stay out of it. He wasn't confident on the brakes there. He might have been concerned to outbrake himself. Smart driving really by Law. He doesn't want to get no points, and that could have resulted in an incident for sure. Another opportunity, not quite as close as he was going into turn 4. I'd be surprised. We've got D-Mac, who I was going to say might have a run down onto Ross, but he had a poor exit, a slap of oversteer there coming out of 3. Unable to keep it on the track. Other than that, I don't... Oh, Shaq's picked up a time penalty for track limits. Yeah, I was going to say, other than that, I don't really want to just hold it on the race leads the entire race, because that's not very entertaining. But, if you take a look at the track map, there's not many battles going on, but this is the lead of the race then for Law. He's going to get the move done, surely. Oh, wrong way. Yes, he is, unless... Yeah, a switchback. Oh, that's tight. The switchback wasn't quite on there. Yeast will have DRS. Is he going to immediately look to launch back up the inside of Law? He's going to hold it, he dummies, but stays where he is. And Eek is just waiting for his moment. He knows that there's no one that close behind him. A 5-second gap to Lucist in P4. If he can wait until these guys battle. He's got plenty of ERS to use. Yeast, actually they all have quite a similar amount of ERS. Yeast is the best of 3. As Robin sets the fastest lap of the race. Yes, we talked about his potential pace earlier on, and he is showing that there by setting the fastest lap as he looks to take another position. Yeah, so as I was saying, Yeast just has to bide his... Sorry, not Yeast. Eek has to bide his time. Wait for these two to have a go at each other. Use that ARS to close the gap, and you never know, he might pip the pair of them at once. That would be entertaining, wouldn't it? We've got a very close battle between D-Mac and Ross, who I've caught on before, still within half a second. Oh, and I've just missed the lead of the race. Law's made a mistake. No, he's pitted. Okay, he's pitted. That's fine. So Law comes in then. I would imagine Yeast will follow. 12 laps on the medium tyre. As Law moves onto the hard tyres there. I'm really glad that was a pit stop. I would have hated to have missed the lead of the race once again. Oh, and that's a snap. It may have just been a connection, but that looked like one hell of a snap. And now Fergs, that's the fastest lap of the race. Right, I can't watch this so much longer. Jesus. Big connection problems. We've got 2 Alfa Romeos. One must be lapping the other because they aren't next to each other on the timing sheets. And the gap has been extended then. Let's ride on with Eek. And Eek will actually be able to gain some time on Law during this in-lap, having the DRS while Yeast doesn't. He was stuck in a bit of an ERS train up against P2. Be very unfortunate for Law if a safety car was to come out in the next lap. Who's boxing? Yeast, is he going to dummy? No, Yeast is coming in. The pair of them are coming in. And a bit of time gained there then by Eek. A good pit entry. The Ferrari team pull off a successful pit stop and get Eek back on the road. It's a double stack overlap there. Not too much. Now then, let's see what happens to Law as he heads down the back straight. You can see them on his mini-map. You can see them exiting the pit lane. He's going to have lost out to the both of them then. He must have had a poor outlap cooling those tyres, but he will have warmer tyres than the 2 drivers ahead of him, so he'll look to get DRS. Has he got DRS? No, he doesn't. So he's not going to have as much of an advantage as he could have done, but those tyres, look at that, he's going to snip him at the inside. Yes, he has. Those warmer tyres, he's pipped Yeek, and now he chases after Yeast. Lucist has taken provisional, sorry, net, no, he's taken on track P1, but obviously Yeast still holds net P1. deep there by Yeast, and he'll look to get a good exit. ERS enabled, DRS enabled. Bit of weaving there by Yeast. Maybe he's trying to get some temperature in the tyres. He's under pressure, which is never good if you put the throttle down too much because you feel like you have to on those cold tyres. That's going to result in a spin. Yeast is doing well to hold it together. As Lucist comes into the pit lane then. So Yeast and Law will take over the first two positions of this race. Good entry by Law as he gets the power down on those slightly warmer tyres. I would imagine Yeast's tyres will have warmed up by now, so it's probably a level battle. But the DRS Law is going to make a move around the outside, up to the inside, braking just before the 100-metre board. It's neither of them have gone deep. He's just missed the apex. But Yeast will fight it straight back. He's going to activate DRS and DRS. It's a risky one to make a move into 4. He's taken the inside. Great move by Law to cover the inside. That's made it very difficult for him. But he's going to pip him up the inside. The wheel-to-wheel coming out of turn 4 through 5. Still side by side. And Yeast retains the lead of the race, having lost it only for a number of corners. Excellent racing side by side through 4 and 5. But not much Law could do around the outside of 6. That would have been a difficult corner to keep the traction pinned. He probably would have lost the car had he tried. But he's going to get another go then in the DRS zone. He's not quite close enough. Great battle for the lead, which I would imagine is going to continue for the rest of the race. Yeast found himself in this position last week and obviously had that incident with Shaq. Let's hope Law thinks better of it this time. If Yeast can hold on, it will be back-to-back wins for him, which will be great for the Aston Martin team. And a good haul of points for the McLaren boys if things stay how it is. Unfortunately, Atlas couldn't get past turn 4. But swings and roundabouts, things happen. Just got to get ready for the next one. DRS open once again. Gaps continuing. Apart from that battle in the midfield between the AlphaTauri of Ross and D-Mac, we've got a yellow flag. It's a Ferrari who's come off. Is it Eek? No. Is it a Ferrari? Yeah, this is a Ferrari. Where is he? Gio. Had a little spin there. Colin providing some wise words there about creating a gap. If it was my teammate, I would probably think that, but battling a competitor for the lead of the race, I mean, I guess jostling DRS is kind of aiding that anyway, but I don't think that will be on the minds. 2-second gap though, so Law is not in danger of assisting anyone else with DRS. And it's not going to be enough to make a move into here. I'd quite like to see an overtake up the inside of this turn 11. Be interesting battle, probably wheel to wheel all the way through this section of the track down into 13. That battle between Ross and D-Mac is the only other battle we've got going on, really. Everyone else is significantly far away from others. Let's leave this and ride back with Yeast, who is looking to defend the lead of the race. Is he going to make a dive? He's got there and he's thought about it, but it's good line there by Yeast not to close him off, because there would have been contact there. You can't blame Law for having a think, but he didn't commit to the dive bomb, but he will now. Back into turn 4. Is he going to take the inside line? He's forced his way up the inside. Difficult tight braking zone that. Avoid contact. Very good. And it looks like Yeast is going to keep the position. No wheel-to-wheel racing this time. But very, very entertaining nonetheless. So we've just crossed over the halfway mark of the race. Those hard tyres early. Yet to have a full course safety car. I'd love to get through a race without a safety car, but then again a late one on the soft tyres always makes for an exciting finish. So Ferg has found himself back within the DRS. He's got the pace, clearly. He was 2 seconds behind not that long ago. And now he finds himself right up behind the race leaders. Can get the best exit there. But I believe he's within DRS. As they head down at turn 4. There's a yellow flag. It's Chimichanga, I believe. No, it's Sprunky in the same corner. Again, I think it was him earlier, wasn't it? He's going to get passed. Or lapped even. Yeah, getting lapped there by the 2 cars passing him, the Haas and the AlphaTauri. Very unfortunate for him, not his race at all. Fresh softs, but clearly cold. That'll be where the spin has come from. But this battle for the lead is intensifying then. It was a 2-car race, now it is a 3-car race. And Law could be in trouble of losing P2 at this rate. Ferg only 3 tenths behind, as Colin calls it Ferg's race. Let's see then. Is he going to be close enough to make a move? I doubt it. But great action. So little packs starting to appear all around the circuit. A good chunk of 3 or 4 drivers fighting for the final few points that are available down to P15. We've got a battle between what looks to be Chimichanga and James heading through to turn 5 now. A 2-car battle. But we'll stay with the battle for the lead, because something's got to give eventually. And the lead will change hands when DRS makes a part, but Ferg is really now closing in on Law. He should be worried. He's really got a good exit there. On older tyres, mine as well. Ferg 13 to Law's 6. And he's given him a run for his money. He lets off slightly early there, Ferg. And he's... Oh no, he hasn't. No, he hasn't. It's all good. Just the internet. Bring me up again. Make me say things. So no moves for the lead of the race again. Perhaps we'll see another move up the inside into turn 4, which is seemingly the best opportunity for an overtake so far during the Grand Prix. Nothing giving there. Oh, and another snap. Another snap there on the exit by Ferg. All that good work undone. Those tyres letting him go slightly. They should be good for at least another maybe 6, 7, 8 laps, something like that. If he can get to the end of the race, it may be possible, but he'll be struggling. He's on 50% rears, 45% fronts. So if he does make it to the end of the race on those tyres, they will be on their last legs for sure. He'll be praying for a late safety car so he can come in and get those soft tyres on. But Law has some better tyre condition than the race lead. Not by much, but something is better than nothing. Let's see then. Again, 8 tenths the gap, 6 tenths the gap to P2. We're more likely, I think, to see a position change between Law and Ferg as opposed to Yeast and Law. And that battle at the back of the field, Lewis, Shaq, Rodo, Ross, D-Mac, James and Chimichanga is tightening up. DMAC to Callas then as someone sets the fastest sector 1. Law sets the fastest sector 1. But look at that, Yeast is harvesting a hell of a lot of VRS, almost 3 times what Law has in the bank. Which is always good to see. Raw pace on shore, and the same for Ferg, he's struggling with low ERS, so Yeast is in a really good position. Apart from the slightly worse tyre degradation, we have a lot of ERS harvested. Sprunky picks up a track limits penalty, and that battle for the final few points is another interesting one. I may take a look again, but I don't want to miss anything happening at the front. I keep glancing down toward the track map to see if there's any overtakes on the cards. James is looking to close in on Chimichanga, but not doing this time round. The gap seems to be maintaining. We've got a yellow flag. It's a Mercedes and it's Shaq who is out of this Grand Prix. Let's see. It's 2 cars there. 2 cars. I'm struggling to see who it is. We've got a safety car. Is it virtual? No, it is a full course safety car then with 10 laps to go. This is what we asked for. This is going to shake up the order a little bit. Ross picks up the penalty for speeding a drive through there. Right, let's recoup ourselves then as we head behind the safety car for the final few laps of this race. It may shake up the order as cars come into the pit lane. We've got Rodo and Lewis heading in for fresh softs. Ross and Shaq, victims of that incident. The 3rd and 4th cars out of this race: Atlas, Robastian, Ross and Shaq. Thankfully no double DNFs for one singular team. The Alpha, Mercedes, Red Bull and McLaren one apiece. Some have chosen to go mediums then. They're not confident on that. Well, they may have only used soft tyres left, but a few drivers choosing mediums over the softs. The softs will definitely make it to the end of the race. Let's ride on with the leaders then. They'll obviously come in, but let's watch them nonetheless. Hopefully none of the leaders pick up a penalty. That would be very unfortunate. Law has stayed out. Now, is that a tactical choice? Or is that a mistake? I can't imagine it's a mistake because he saw Yeast go into the pits. He's had his entire lap to think about it. Now, has Yeast lost the position? Or is he going to overtake the safety car? Okay. Yes, he's going to overtake the safety car, which is fine. So Law leads. Yeast will be in P2 on fresh softs. Everyone behind him will be on fresh softs. I'm not sure what Law is thinking there. Yeah, I'm looking at the telemetry. Nothing to indicate that he wouldn't want to change tyres. Those hards are only 25% worn, according to the telemetry. But still, old tyres compared to fresh, soft slicks, usually no match. I mean, I chose to stay out in Australia, but that was because the safety car came as I was passing the pit entry and I didn't really know, you know, I bottled it basically. And then I thought, I'll help my teammate, I'll hold up the pack and help Brendan make his way round in the lead, which in the end he did. But this is an interesting one. He had the entire lap to think about it, but he stayed out. And I would be hard done by to imagine that that's going to go his way come green flag racing, but we'll see nonetheless. I'd imagine the safety car will go around once more. So when they cross the line, we will have 5 or 6 laps of racing to go. Yeah, 6 laps. Yeast will be on the hunt, that is for sure. And obviously there's a Williams there, just sort of chilling in P2, even though he's in P14, so I'm not really sure why he's there. Is he going to be, he'll just be blue flagged, I imagine, when the race resumes. But I would have thought he would have overtaken the safety car to be at the back of the pack. Clearly not though. So all the guys now have to do is cross the line to secure some points. We've only got 14 drivers left on the grid, on the track even. So points up for grabs for all drivers that can cross the line. I'm really not sure what's going on with Sky, so I'm just going to avoid that. Let's hope that doesn't affect Yeast's opportunity. Like I say, I would imagine it will be a ghost blue flag once we're underway. But again, you know, Yeast would want to be right up behind him, not just 3 or 4 car lengths away from the leader. Callas is going to have to get himself round pretty sharpish if he wants any chance of making up some positions. Oh, and there's been some swapping of positions there by the looks of it, unless it was given and then given back. So let's have a look at the positions before we move on. Penalties, just James with 1. That's good from the rest of the drivers not to pick up any penalties. Good stuff. Position change then, obviously, yes, Yeast with a huge gain. As for James as well. Is it staying out for another lap? Wow. Wow. Okay then. So we'll have 5 laps of racing when the cars cross the line. Those soft tyres will be useless by the time the race starts, I'm telling you. And every lap that passes is just more degradation on those hard tyres. Right now, it looks like it's going to be a Yeast Ferg Eek podium, but, you know, I might eat my words. You never know what happens. Yeah, Jetfish, great question. We don't have the answers to. He had the entire lap to bring himself in. It wasn't a rush decision. It wasn't a reaction pit stop by the other drivers. He just drove around the circuit and chose to stay out. The only plausible answer is that he only had horrible used softs to go, but then again, even so, I don't know if that's justifiable to stay out. It's going to cost him, unfortunately. I would have loved to see another McLaren win another race, but probably won't be the case. So Callas has had time, because of the extra lap, to get himself to the back of the pack. So every car now on the back straight here, and on the middle straight even. Yeah. Michael Massey. God, don't even mention his name. Safety car in this lap. Lowe will have the throttle glitch, no doubt. You'll get it back just before the braking zone of turn 14. But we watch on then for particularly this interest in Sky, who is putting himself alongside the leader even though he's last. So let's hope that they get blue flagged straight away and that it doesn't pose a problem for Yeast. It looks like he's just going to let them go. Oh, that was close. And he's floored it. We're underway then. No overtaking until they cross the line. They've crossed the line, so we're good to go. It's full attack then. And there's been an issue. Robin has dropped a lot of positions. DMAC has gained a few. Lewis is dropping down. There's been an issue in Sector 1. Oh, lots of issues here. Lots and lots of cars together. Look at that. As we go 5. Oh my god. Everything all over the place here. It's hard to even keep track of who is where. I'll keep you up to date with the order. And there's contact. Big contact. And that is the Mercedes of Robin seemingly out of the race. He's got a massive front wing damage. Not his problem. Not his fault. And he'll be annoyed by that because that's not what you want to see. An issue on the inside of 4. Oh, I couldn't remember who it was that went into him. Fergan Yeast battling then for P2. And Law will be aware of these tyres. Look at the gains that they're making. They're going to get him so close. He's going to be done in 2 corners. Sorry, it's going to be done by 2 cars. The traction coming out of this corner. Ferg can't move to the outside because Yeast is there. And he can't move to the inside because Law is there. Contact wheel to wheel, front wing damage surely there on the inside, but Ferg takes the lead and Law stays there. He's still with him. Great racing by the front 3 of them. This is surely they've got damage. They've been making so much contact. I think that's even more contact there by Ferg into the back of him, but Law somehow has kept the lead of the race for an entire lap. There is an Alpine of Lucist out. I'm not going to cut away because Ferg has taken the lead of the race. Is Law going to dive down the inside or dive down the outside? Yes, he is. Yeast makes the move up the inside of Law. Is he still alongside him? No, so there we go. The hard tyres have cost him. Yeast getting the temperatures up. A little violent shake of the wheel there, and it's a pit by Robin, who's DNF. So it's a double Mercedes DNF. Very unfortunate there after that costly mistake. We'll review it after the race. I'm sure I've got the footage so we can capture that, but interesting end as we go around the final 4 laps. Ferg, as Colin predicted, takes the lead of the race. Deep there by Yeast, who takes a lot of apex. ERS, full restoration, obviously under the safety car, so all that I counted before is discredited now. Back to 100% for most drivers, apart from what you've used since the green flags came back out then. Law is under pressure from Eek behind, who could well make a move into turn 1. He may get the move done very early because he's got a great exit. Fergs has the fastest lap of the race. Look at him all the way on the other side of the circuit there to try and break the tow. There's going to be a move here by Eek, surely on those soft tyres around the outside of turn 1. Deep braking. Is he looking for the switchback? Yes, he is. It's not quite executed textbook. Neither is the exit. As Ferg holds the lead. Is Yeast going to dive up 4? No, he's going to hold what he's got. Again, I'd be surprised if Law can hold on all this time. The top 3 seem set in stone after he stayed out on those hard tyres. Ferg, Yeast and Eek. Not accounting for any mistakes, obviously. Those soft tyres now reaching 40% usage already. DRS open on the Ferrari. Is he going to make the move? No, he's not. I really want an overtake into this corner, but it just doesn't look like it's going to happen. It's a difficult exit out of turn 10, to be honest, so I'm not surprised people haven't quite got the traction to make a move into 11. But again, equal look to close the gap. Nice wide entry, foot to the floor, 5th, 6th, 7th, all the way through the gears. ERS activated briefly, DRS and DRS. This is it for Eek. He's going to get the move done before the braking zone. He flies past Law there, move back to the inside, brake just before the 100-metre board, and Eek moves onto the podium then. Great stuff. Great racing. Let's check the positions. Chimichangas has moved up to 5th, which is an excellent result if he can keep it posted there. Yeah, Colin, okay. I mean, no one's going to be overtaking you tomorrow night, but, you know, I'll try it somewhere in P8 or something stupid like that. I'll give it a go. I'll send one. Why not? Okay, I'm joking. Sensible racing only. But it would be nice to see. But, like I say, there's a reason why, because people have poor entries like that, and then it ends up costing them all the way down the straight. Okay, there's still one more lap where that overtake could happen. So, let's manifest it. You never know. The gap to 3rd has obviously extended significantly after Law held them up a little bit on those hards, but Eek will look to cement that position. Very wide there by Yeast. There could still be a change here. There could still be a move for the lead. Similar ERS. But it's the DRS that's so powerful around this track. He may well get the move done here before turn 1. He got a great exit as Eek sets the fastest lap of the race. He moves to the outside to defend. And he's backed out of the braking there. He'll get a wide, nice exit through 3. He's going to get it done before the braking zone, surely. With DRS help. Again, Ferg moves to the inside to cover it into 4. Switchback. He's taking too much curb. He's not going to get the move done, but great racing nonetheless. Good defence by Ferg to move to the inside in both 1 and 4. Gio may have had an incident there. He's 8 seconds behind the pack. And Callas moves up. He was last at the start of the safety car restart, and he's now finds himself in P6. It's a 5-6 for Haas at the minute on the final lap of the race. A great team effort there by the pair of them. No changes. So by my watch, forgive me if someone has and I've obviously missed it, but it looks like out of 29 laps, not one overtake into 11. What a shame. What a shame. Oh no, Rhoda's picked up a penalty right at the end there. I don't know if that's going to affect his position too much, given James. Yes, he'll drop a couple of positions. Ferg then. Looks like he's going to cross the line. After all that action, he comes over to celebrate with his team and he crosses the line to take P1. Excellent result from Ferg, who had an excellent qualifying and an even better finish. Yeast all the way up from P13 onto the podium. And Eek, who started in P2, you'll still be happy with that podium as more drivers cross the line then. That is your final results. Chimichangas and James with some of the better finishes there. But Ferg, Yeast and Eek round off the top 3. Law brings home some points for McLaren after the unfortunate incident with Atlas in turn 1. DMAC and Callas, great points for Haas. And obviously, as I mentioned already, Chimichangas with a great result considering his position at the start then. No points for Mercedes, half points for AlphaTauri, Alfa Romeo, Red Bull and McLaren. That's been a good race. I was pleased to see the safety car come out. That spiced things up big time at the end, and there's the driver of the day, DMAC. Plenty of overtakes and a great P5 finish. Let's wait for the drivers to show up on the podium. Pop the champagne. Here he is then. As Colin predicted earlier, Ferg's race indeed, he takes the top step of the podium for Alpine. Their first win of the season, his first win of the season, and I'm sure he'll look to continue that next week. There it is then. Aston Martin and Yeast back on the podium. P1 last week, P2 this week. Good consistency from the Aston Martin team. So, your final results then. Driver of the day, DMAC from P10 to P5, podium of Ferg, Yeast. Eek and Law couldn't quite hold out on to the podium on those hard tyres after he failed to box at the safety car restart. Thanks for joining me then tonight. Thanks for having us all in chat. Next week, the drivers are off to Asia, to Japan, which was my debut race, so I'm looking forward to watching on. Unfortunately, I will not be here. I'll be at the Grand Prix in real life, which I'm absolutely buzzing for. I'll try and watch, but obviously, you know, I'll be a little bit busy. So that's all from me then, guys. Cheers for listening. Cheers for watching. Good race in the end. And I will see you guys for China. It will be my next one. So someone will fill in for me next week.